Well, today's video is sponsored by Black Gold Compost Company. We want to thank the good people over at Black Gold for their generous donation of all this black cow manure that we're using in our video today. Thank you for sponsoring our channel. Well, welcome back, friends. You know, when you get started in your fall garden, the biggest mistake that everyone makes is you don't think about doing a fall garden until all of a sudden you feel the temperatures start to fall and you walk outside one morning, it's nice and cool, and you go, oh, this would be a good time for a fall garden, when in reality we should have been thinking about the fall garden months earlier. So I wanted to go through a few steps here with you so that you could avoid making some of the mistakes that everyone makes, okay? So the first thing you want to do is, when you want to do a fall garden, you want to lay out your garden plots on a piece of paper and plan out what your fall crops are going to be for that year. And it doesn't have to be anything really fancy, you know, just a piece of sketch paper and just write out, you know, what you want to do. So what I do is I draw out my plot and I show all the rows that I have, and I'll make some decisions on what I want to grow, and I write them in here, okay? And I also do it for my container garden. Container garden's kind of long, so I'm just going to drag the piece of paper along here, okay? So I lay out all my grow tables, and I decide on what I'm going to grow on what table. Okay? Now, how am I going to make that decision? What most of you say. Well, what I normally do, and everyone else in the world, is we go through our favorite seed catalogs, and they'll help you decide on what you may want to grow that fall. My favorite seed suppliers are Johnny Seeds, Baker Creek, and Kitazawa. Now there's many others out there. I'm just saying these are the three that I normally go to, and you can get these catalogs and just kind of go through them, and you'll pick out some things that look interesting to you. And when you do find something that looks interesting to you, check it out and do some research on really how to grow it and what to expect. And a good way to do that is if you go to our YouTube channel and look for videos on growing the vegetables that you may be interested in. Now that's a pretty easy thing to do. A lot of people say, well, I can't never find the video I'm looking for. There's too many videos on your channel. And I said, well, here's what you do. You go to the search block in the YouTube and you type in Hollis, H-O-L-L-I-S. I have such a unique first name that when I use that right there, when the YouTube does a search, all of our stuff usually comes up right first. So if I'm interested in collards, I'll type in Hollis and collards and hit the search, you know, and it'll show all the videos that we have on growing collards. Or if I wanted to grow onions, I type in Hollis and onions, Hollis carrots, Hollis, and whatever you may be interested in growing. If I've got a video on our channel, it'll pop up. So the reason I'm encouraging you to go to our YouTube channel is the way we do our videos is really set up for the beginner gardener. I try my best to break it down and make it nice and simple to help you learn how to grow a vegetable step by step from the very beginning all the way through to the harvest. That way you know what to expect all along the way, what the plant looks like as it's growing, and when to harvest it. So if you go to our YouTube channel and look at these vegetables that you may be interested in, it may help you to make a decision, do you want to grow it or not? Okay, so once you make a decision on what you want to grow, you want to order your seeds early. Now, if you look right here on my little sketch here, you can see right over here where I made a little chart and I wrote down whatever I was going to grow over here. I gave each row a number, and here's the number, and I wrote who the vendor was and what date I ordered it, and what date I received the seeds in. This way you can keep track of your seed order, what's still coming and what's already here, so you don't miss nothing, okay? So keep track of your seed order. The next thing you want to start doing is you want to start your bed prep. Go out there and clean out any vegetables and plants and weeds and amend that soil with compost. And I like to use black cow manure when I amend my soil. And this is all being done about the same time I make my seed order. And if you look back here, when I did my seeds, I started back in July the 2nd. I ordered July 2nd, July 4th, all the way through. You see that I'm months in advance of the cool weather. So order early and start early and get that stuff going. So I get the seeds order, I get the bed prepped, and that takes some time too, so it takes a little time to work all that soil and get the weeds out of it and get the old vegetable matter out and blend in that compost, okay? The next thing is you want to establish your planting schedule. Planting the garden is a process. It's not all at one time. You don't just go out and put all the plants in one weekend and you got your whole fall garden in. It kind of works in kind of a process. The first thing I want to do is I want to start my seeds in the seed starting trays about 8 or 10 weeks prior to the first predicted freeze. Now, a lot of folks say, well, I don't know when that is. Go and online and check your predicted freeze schedule for whatever year it is, and type that in and Google it, and you'll get all kinds of little charts on what the predicted freezes are in your area. A lot of them go by the zip code. That's the one I like the best, is you can type in your zip code and it'll tell you when the first predicted freeze is. And keep in mind, it's predicted. It's not written in stone. So you want to kind of get a general basic idea of when that first frost is going to really hit your area, and you want to start your seeds 8 to 10 weeks prior to that date, okay? The next thing I want to do is I want to check with what vegetables are heat tolerant. And if I know which ones are heat tolerant, I can go ahead and get them started first about 10 weeks or so before the first frost. I can go ahead and start them, and usually I can direct sow anything in the earth bed that's heat tolerant. I can go ahead and get my direct sowing done first. So that's usually the first thing that goes into my garden in the earth bed is direct sow. The second thing I start working on is the containers. I get them by direct sow and or transplants. Okay, so the containers seem to be able to take the warmer temperatures a little bit better, because you can control the watering and keep it cool and move them around, move them in the shade if you have to, things like that. So you can work with the containers, as the temperatures are beginning to decline and come off of summer and go into fall. So usually I go direct sow into the earth bed, then I start my containers. Then the next thing I do, the last thing I do, is I start my transplants. You need to wait until these transplants after the temperatures fall into the 70s if you're going to put those transplants in an earth bed. If you started your seeds in the seed starting tray and you want to transplant these little seedlings into a container, you can go ahead and do that earlier than the 70s. But if you're going out into in the earth bed, you want to start these things right when the temperatures go down into the 70s, okay? Because if you get them out there too early and you get another burst of warm, unseasonable weather, which is very common down here in Florida, you'll be doing real good in the 70s, and the next thing you know, it's back up 88, 89, 90 degrees for 3 or 4 days. You could lose all your transplants. They can't tolerate it. So wait until you're well into the 70s, maybe even for a couple of weeks, and then go ahead and start your transplants out into the earth bed. Okay, so it's all a process. It's all in little steps, gradually, and getting your fall garden started. all before the first freeze ever gets here. The next thing you want to do is keep your garden soil moist, not saturated. Now, as the temperatures continue to fall into the 60s and 50s, you can decrease the frequency of your watering somewhat. So you want to just keep an eye on it, make sure it's not completely dried out. And so keep in mind these fall vegetables don't really need as much water when these temperatures fall down, because if you continue to water too heavy and you give it too much water, then you end up giving them root rot problems and things like that. So you don't want to give them too much. Keep an eye on it. You know, it will get to a point when your brassicas, things like that, have established themselves, they're doing pretty good. You may not need to water your garden any more than once a week. It'll be just fine. And the last thing you want to keep under control is weed control. Maintain your weed control, because in the wintertime there's different kinds of weeds that will emerge that you don't have to contend with in the summertime, and you'll have your garden bed all prepped. You have all them old summer weeds out of there and you're looking really pretty, and the next thing you know, you get an explosion of all these weeds that come up in the wintertime. Fall and winter weeds that you weren't really expecting, and it can get away from you very quick. So keep an eye on your weed control. Keep that weed pressure down off of your plants, because all they do is starve your plants of nutrients. So anyway, these are 8 little steps. It's not a whole lot. It's all about the timing. So, you know, you want to set up and get it in at the right time and start thinking about it at the right time. Early on, get these orders in early. You know, the way things are in the world, I mean, the supply chain's backed up. You'll find out a lot of the stuff doesn't get here on time. You'll go to make an order, and if you wait a little bit too late, they're out of stock. So get your seeds ordered early so that you're ahead of the curve and you have plenty of time to react. Okay, I hope this helped you. I think what we'll do is just go on out here to the garden and just take a look at where we're at on our fall garden here. I'm not through, because remember, it's a process. I'm still in the process of putting my garden in, and it's October here in Florida, and I started, as you can see, way back in July. So let's go out here and take a look at where we're at, just to give you an idea of what it takes to get your fall garden in. Let's go outside. Well, this is our seed starting area. You've seen this on many of our videos. A lot of our videos start out right here at the planting table, and you know, we're planting our seeds and we move them from the seed trays over into the seed starting racks. And you can take a look down these seed starting racks and you can see I still have plenty of seeds that I'm still growing, and here it is in October, and I still have seeds in the trays. They're getting close to being transplanted, but I just wanted you to see the timeline is still being, they're still being developed, okay? So they're still in process. Over here's the hardening table, which I bring the seed trays out of the seed starting racks, and I come out here and I harden them off a little bit before I transplant them out. And I've even got some plant material up here that I started in the seed starting cups, and I stepped them up into bigger pots, and in some cases that's what I'll grow them in. These are small plants that will never get very large because they're minis, all the minis. So I'll grow them into 1-gallon containers all the way up to harvest. So this is the seed starting area, and we do all of our seed starting outside. I don't do any of it inside. So this is it. This is how we get that done. Well, this is our container garden, and we're able to start a lot of these early, like I was saying earlier. And some of these are heat tolerant. Like you can take a look at some of these Napa cabbages over here, and they're actually quite large because I was able to plant those back in the 1st of September. So you can see there's some good development on that plant material. And then I have some kohlrabi and bok choy and things like that that have been out in containers, and I've been able to get those things growing pretty easily early, you know, and it's still October. And here, you know, some more plant material that we're working on. So the container garden seems to get going a little bit faster than the earth bed, but that's just by design. We start some out here because we can control it better while the heat is still trying to the temperatures are still falling. So let's go over here and take a look at the earth bed. That's the last thing I plant with the little transplants. So let's go check that out. Well, this is our main earth bed, 5,000 square feet, and it's the last thing that we use in the fall. We start our transplants out here as soon as those temperatures get on down, and I've just recently started to put in some of my transplants, you know, within the last week. So it's got some left. I'm not quite finished with it. I still have 4 rows on each end I can still plant, so I'm still in the process of getting my transplants from the seed starting area over here into the earth bed. But we're off and running. Well, this is our raised bed garden area over here. We've got 6 raised beds, and I treat my raised beds the same way as I do my main earth bed. So if I have transplants that need to come out here and go into the earth bed, raised bed, I do it the same way as I do the earth bed, because essentially that's what it is. So I don't get these transplants out here too early, or it could result in getting some unexpected heat wave and wipe them out. So make these your last plants to put out as into your raised bed areas as well. Well, I hope today's videos gave you a few things to think about on your first attempt at fall gardening. It's all about the timing. That's all there is to it. So I hope it helped you. And until me and Nancy see you next time, always remember, by His hands we are fed. Give us, Lord, our daily bread. Amen.
Have a blessed day.